I'm Ulla Greenwood. I'm on the executive of our national body, Dogs Australia, which is the Australian National Kennel Council Limited, and I'm also the president of our state body, Dogs Queensland. The actual dog breeds were not banned. We're talking about the British Bulldog and the Cavalier King Charles Spaniel. And it was a judge at their lowest court, which is the district court in Oslo, who basically made a decision banning the breeding of those two breeds. Quite extraordinary, because during the course of the judgment, because I might say it was an animal welfare group that was suing the premier dog body in Norway, which is the Norway Kennel Club, which is the equivalent of our national body here in Australia, as well as the clubs, the British Bulldog Club, and another Cavalier type club, and 6 breeders. And in the course of the judgment, he said that in fact, with the breeding practices with these different entities, that they were best practice with what they were doing. But then he made the quite extraordinary finding that there was not a healthy British Bulldog or Cavalier King Charles Spaniel in Norway, which is truly bizarre about these iconic breeds. The other thing that I find quite extraordinary is that if we're talking gold standard with different countries and the breeding practices with their top echelon of dog bodies, the Scandinavian countries are really gold standard, and that's in my experience. Well, it is, and I was really impressed recently. The National British Bulldog Council of Australia, which is affiliated to our Dogs Australia body, they've brought out this new health scheme where they have bronze, silver or gold status, depending on for the breeders, depending on the number of breed tests, health tests that they undertake. And there are these initiatives happening all the time. I'm a dog judge, I've judged wonderful British Bulldogs down in Tasmania that are actually engaged in agility work and have no breathing problems at all. Yeah, brachycephalic, well, it actually originates from 2 Greek words that go back to 1852, and it's a short-headed breed of dog. And there are about 16 brachycephalic breeds. Some people call them flat-faced, but they're not actually flat-faced. And these breed standards, there's a written breed standard for every breed of dog, which includes the brachycephalic breeds, and they come under the custody of the country of origin. So when we're talking about British Bulldogs, that comes under England supervision or the British supervision. And they're always evolving, but when we're talking about brachycephalics, unlike my breeder Whippets that have the long muzzles, and obviously they've got long muzzles for breathing and the like, and the more irresponsibly some of these brachycephalic breeds are bred, the flatter their faces, well then yes, it can cause airway obstruction and the like. But for the good breeders, if they're breeding to the breed standard, because that's what the dogs get judged on. And in fact, it's specified in the British Bulldog standard that they need to have large and wide nostrils. And that of course helps with the breathing and the like. And as a dog judge, you're always concerned to make sure these breeds are not showing any signs of breathing distress in the ring. And if they are, they're not awarded. When I've judged in Sweden, in fact, there's a separate reporting scheme with brachycephalic breeds for the judges, for them to inform the show organisers if there's any issue with any of the dogs that they come in contact with. So, we've got a lot of really responsible people out there who are trying to look after these iconic breeds and ensure that the majority of people who introduce one into their family have a very healthy, happy dog. Well, it varies from breed to breed. So I'll mention Whippets and other Sighthounds, for instance, where they don't have a range of common health issues. Where you have breeds where health testing is required, there are a range of tests, you know, for eyes, hips, the list goes on, and it tends to be breed specific. So that's why it's important for the public out there to research the breeds. First of all, if they're, you know, looking at buying a puppy, to see a puppy, you know, that does suit them, but looking at the breeders and finding out what health testing should be happening in that breed. And when they do connect up with a breeder, you know, asking them whether they are undertaking any health testing and finding out what that testing is. I mean, this is the irony, and I think COVID, this COVID period has brought it to a head, that in fact the supposed designer breeds, that are crossbreeds, you know, the oodles and the like, have generally been costing up to double the price of a purebred dog. And this surprises people, as it should. You know, recently I was talking to a Doberman breeder who'd just undertaken one test for the prospective siren dam of a litter, and that one test was $500 per dog, and that's $1,000 spent, you know, before, you know, undertaking any sort of breeding program. And I think this is what people don't appreciate, that there are a lot of overheads with a number of these breeds undertaking all of these appropriate health tests. But it gives the assurance to the families and couples and individuals that they're getting a dog that should have a very happy, long life. Well, we've got 8 state and territory bodies, so it's an application to the relevant body that you reside in. And generally there's a test that the applicants, you know, the prospective breeder has to undertake before they get what we call a breeder's prefix, which is like a business name, which is what the first name of any dog that they breed. Now, most importantly, we have breeders' codes of conduct. So first of all, they have to be a member of our body, and there's members' codes of conduct, which are quite extensive, and then we have a specific code of conduct for breeders, and that's all about the welfare of the puppies that they're bringing into the world and the good management of the breeding stock that they have. It's a huge frustration because there's not the level of knowledge out there about what to do or where to go. We talk about the 3 R's when you're looking at researching a breed to bring a dog into your family, and it's, you know, the right timing is so important. And, you know, for instance, I had someone contact me a couple of months ago about getting a whippet puppy, and when I got back in touch, they're just about to do house renovations. So that's not a good time to be getting a puppy. So they're putting that off for a number of months. So that's one example there. And the right breed, well, we've got over 200 pure breeds of dog that are covered by, I think, our 454 breed clubs in Australia, all affiliated to us. And to make the choice that suits your situation is so important. And that's where, you know, research is a good idea. Going onto our Dogs Australia website and having a look at the information there. And once you do decide on a breed, to then go to a reputable breeder through our websites, Dogs Australia feeding into our different state and territory websites. Because the right breeder is the 3rd R, you know, because yes, with the backyard breeders, you don't know what you're getting. And that is an issue too with crossbreeds. What I love is that so many of our pure breeds have got a history that goes back sometimes centuries. And when you're talking about the breed characteristics, you know, of maybe that Labrador you had as a child, the lovely thing is knowing that when you're 20 years older and you're getting another Labrador, that there are similar breed characteristics. And that's just wonderful, that continuum there. Whereas with the crossbreeds and dealing with a backyard breeder who's not got the background understanding of breed lines and the like, you could be buying a puppy that's going to be vexed with health concerns and problems and be a real nightmare for the family. Yeah. Pedigree is so important because it reflects not just the heritage of the dog, but it reflects the fact that the breeder is knowledgeable about that breed and has set their minds to what would be the best combination to get the right temperament and the right characteristics and the right health outcomes with the litter that they're breeding. And many breeders, including myself, have imported dogs extensively from overseas to enhance our home bloodlines, because a good breeder is all about improving, leaving the breed better or improved than when they arrived at breeding that breed. So, it might be that over a 20-year period, you're seeing some very special outcomes with that particular breed for that breeder. So the benefit is that when breeders are breeding like that, they're not going to be keeping all the stock for their own, show lines, agility, all the other disciplines and the like. So some wonderful puppies become available to families and couples and the like. And in many instances, that also triggers an interest, a particular interest in the breed, to find out more about it. And the heritage with so many of our breeds is just fascinating. When you Google the breed that you're interested in and find out what was happening with that breed back in the 19th century and 18th century and the like. So there's a lovely continuum there. So yeah, pedigree is important. And with some breeds like the Whippet breed, there's a wonderful Whippet Archives website that anyone can go into, and you can search the pedigreed name of a dog and you can go back generations and generations and just go down rabbit holes, go down Whippet rabbit holes, just looking at the heritage and the like. So yeah, the more you get into it, the more marvellous you realise it is. But also too, the more you know about this field, the more you realise there is to know. And I think ignorance can be a really dangerous thing with acquiring a puppy, and that's why it's so important to do the groundwork and to connect up with our dog bodies and websites, Dogs Australia website, and do that legwork.